Sleep stands as one of the most time-consuming biological imperatives in human existence, second only to breathing in its demand for dedicated hours. The average adult spends approximately 1/4 of each day in this state of unconsciousness, far surpassing the time allocated to other essential biological functions such as eating, drinking, or elimination. This extraordinary time investment raises fundamental questions about the evolutionary significance and biological necessity of sleep. While extensive research has documented the restorative and cognitive benefits of sleep, the sheer magnitude of time devoted to this biological function warrants deeper examination. The fact that humans spend roughly 6 to 8 hours daily in this vulnerable state, despite the pressures of predation throughout evolutionary history, points to sleep's absolute criticality for survival. The biological demand for sleep placed early humans in a profoundly vulnerable position, creating a critical survival challenge that shaped human social structures and behaviors. These ancestors faced threats from predators and hostile groups during their hours of unconsciousness, leading to the development of sophisticated protective strategies that transformed human society. Early human groups adapted by establishing secure sleeping locations such as caves with defendable entrances, elevated platforms in trees, or sheltered campsites. The practice of sleeping in groups emerged as a crucial survival strategy, with members taking turns to maintain vigilance through the night. This cooperative approach to sleep protection became deeply embedded in human social behavior, influencing the formation of permanent settlements and the development of architectural designs focused on creating secure sleeping spaces. The evolutionary pressure to protect sleeping members spawned the development of early warning systems and social bonds that extended beyond immediate family groups. Archaeological evidence suggests that ancient human settlements frequently organized sleeping quarters towards the center of their communities, surrounded by areas of communal activity. This architectural pattern persisted through various civilizations, reflecting the deep-rooted biological imperative to safeguard sleeping individuals. The modern human tendency to seek secure, private sleeping spaces traces directly to these evolutionary adaptations. Contemporary architecture continues to prioritize bedroom security, positioning sleeping areas away from entry points, and incorporating features such as locks and elevated placement within structures. These design choices reflect an ancient evolutionary legacy of protecting humans during their most vulnerable biological state. The fundamental human need for safe sleep has played a pivotal role in shaping the concept of permanent dwellings and the modern understanding of home. A primary residence serves multiple functions, but its role as a secure sleeping sanctuary remains deeply embedded in human consciousness. This biological imperative for protected sleep has influenced everything from architectural designs to legal frameworks governing residential properties. The connection between sleep and permanent shelter manifests in societal structures through address registration requirements and residential documentation. Government authorities, financial institutions, and organizations routinely demand proof of a main residential address, reflecting an administrative system built around the assumption that every person requires a primary location for secure rest. This systematic approach to tracking human dwelling places stems from the biological reality that all humans need a protected space for their daily sleep requirement. Sleep requirements have also shaped urban development and housing policies across civilizations. Modern building codes mandate specific requirements for bedrooms, including minimum sizes, ventilation standards, and emergency exits. These regulations demonstrate how the biological necessity for sleep directly influences contemporary architectural standards and real estate practices. The emphasis on bedroom features in property marketing further reinforces the central role of sleep accommodation in housing decisions. For individuals without access to conventional housing, the challenge of finding safe sleeping spaces becomes a daily struggle that highlights the critical intersection of shelter and sleep. Emergency housing programs and homeless shelters prioritize providing secure sleeping spaces, acknowledging that the provision of protected sleep opportunities represents a fundamental human need that cannot be separated from the concept of shelter. The biological necessity of sleep has profoundly shaped human social organization and daily routines since prehistoric times. Early human communities developed complex patterns of behavior centered around the preparation for and protection of sleep periods. The gathering of suitable materials for bedding, the maintenance of fire for warmth and protection, and the organization of evening meals became integral components of pre-sleep social rituals. These sleep-related activities fostered the development of intimate family bonds and community structures. Evening meals evolved into significant social occasions, with families gathering in close proximity to sleeping areas as daylight waned. The preparation of sleeping spaces became a daily investment of time and resources, requiring the collection and arrangement of materials in our history, such as leaves, grass, animal skins, or, eventually, manufactured textiles. The connection between sleep spaces and intimate relationships emerged naturally from this arrangement. Sleeping quarters, being protected and private areas, became associated with pair bonding and reproduction. This biological and social overlap makes evolutionary sense, as both sleep and procreation require similar conditions of security and privacy. Archaeological evidence suggests that early human dwellings often featured distinct sleeping areas that served multiple functions related to family life and pair bonding. In contemporary society, these ancient patterns persist in modified forms. Modern bedrooms continue to serve as multi-purpose sanctuaries, combining the primary function of sleep with intimate family life. The preparation of sleeping spaces remains a significant daily activity, now transformed into routines of bed-making, temperature control, and the maintenance of optimal sleeping conditions. These behaviors reflect deeply ingrained biological imperatives shaped by millions of years of human evolution. The biological rhythms of sleep and reproductive behavior share interconnected patterns that have influenced human social structures across millennia. Sleep-related behaviors, including the creation and maintenance of secure private spaces, align naturally with the requirements for successful human reproduction and child-rearing. Private sleeping quarters emerged not merely as spaces for rest, but as protected environments conducive to intimate pair bonding and infant care. The hormonal systems governing both sleep and reproduction demonstrate significant overlap in their daily patterns. Melatonin, primarily known as the sleep regulation hormone, influences reproductive cycles and fertility patterns. Similarly, reproductive hormones affect sleep quality and duration, creating a complex biological feedback system. These interlinked hormone cycles suggest an evolutionary advantage in connecting sleep patterns with reproductive behavior. The practice of co-sleeping between parents and infants represents a biological strategy that emerged to protect vulnerable offspring while maximizing parental rest. This arrangement facilitated nighttime feeding and enhanced infant survival rates throughout human evolution. The modern debate surrounding co-sleeping versus separate sleeping arrangements reflects the ongoing negotiation between ancient biological imperatives and contemporary social norms. Historical and anthropological evidence indicates that sleeping spaces typically doubled as primary sites for reproductive activity across diverse cultures. This dual functionality persists in modern society, where bedrooms remain designated spaces for both sleep and intimate relations. The cultural emphasis on bedroom privacy and comfort serves both biological functions, highlighting their continued interconnection in human behavior and social organization. The biological requirement for sleep has fundamentally shaped labor patterns throughout human history, creating complex economic and social structures around this non-negotiable daily necessity. The Industrial Revolution marked a pivotal shift in sleep organization, as factory-based production systems imposed rigid time schedules that often conflicted with natural sleep rhythms. This tension between biological sleep needs and economic productivity continues to influence modern workplace policies and labor regulations. The emergence of shift work represents a direct economic response to the constraints of human sleep requirements. Manufacturing plants, healthcare facilities and essential services developed rotating staff schedules to maintain continuous operations despite individual sleep needs. This adaptation carried significant biological costs, as disrupted sleep patterns began affecting worker health, safety and productivity. Research demonstrates that accidents, errors and health issues increase significantly during night shifts and extended working hours. Economic pressures on sleep patterns extend beyond shift work into standard business operations. The global nature of modern commerce, spanning multiple time zones, creates additional challenges for sleep scheduling. International financial markets, multinational corporations, and digital communication networks operate continuously, pressuring individuals to adjust their sleep patterns to accommodate global business demands. These pressures manifest in reduced sleep duration, irregular sleep schedules, and increased reliance on stimulants to maintain alertness. Modern economic structures continue to evolve in response to sleep-related productivity concerns. The rise of flexible working arrangements, remote work policies, and increased attention to work-life balance partly reflect a growing recognition of sleep's economic importance. Companies investing in sleep education, nap rooms, and fatigue management programs acknowledge that respecting natural sleep patterns can enhance productivity and reduce costly errors. These developments suggest an emerging recalibration between economic demands and biological sleep requirements. The relationship between sleep patterns and technological advancement reveals a complex narrative of human adaptation and biological challenge. Fire, humanity's earliest technological achievement, dramatically altered sleep behavior by extending light availability and providing protection during vulnerable sleep periods. This fundamental innovation established a pattern wherein each subsequent technological advance would further reshape human sleep architecture. The Industrial Revolution, with its artificial lighting and mechanized production, initiated unprecedented changes to natural sleep rhythms. Electric lighting severed the ancient connection between human sleep patterns and natural daylight cycles. This technological disruption of circadian rhythms marked the beginning of modern sleep challenges, as artificial light began to override biological sleep signals that had evolved over millions of years. Digital technology represents the most recent and perhaps most profound technological impact on sleep patterns. The proliferation of screens emitting blue light, constant connectivity and 24-hour entertainment access has created novel challenges to sleep initiation and maintenance. Mobile devices have transformed bedrooms from protected sleep sanctuaries into extensions of workspaces and entertainment centers, fundamentally altering their original biological purpose. Paradoxically, technology has also spawned an entire industry dedicated to sleep improvement. Sleep tracking devices, smart mattresses, and environmental control systems attempt to optimize sleep conditions through technological means. This development represents a curious circular pattern wherein technology seeks to solve the very sleep disruptions it helped create. The emergence of these sleep-focused technologies acknowledges the essential biological need for quality sleep, even as broader technological advancement continues to challenge natural sleep patterns. The evolution of dedicated sleep spaces reflects both biological necessity and psychological imperative. While early humans sought physical protection during sleep, the development of private sleeping quarters simultaneously served a crucial role in mental restoration and emotional regulation. Archaeological evidence suggests that even in communal living spaces, humans created distinct areas for sleep, indicating an early recognition of sleep spaces as zones of psychological sanctuary. The biological need for mental restoration during sleep shaped architectural development across cultures. Private sleeping chambers emerged as spaces where individuals could process daily experiences without social scrutiny. This architectural adaptation supported essential psychological functions of sleep, including memory consolidation, emotional processing, and the integration of daily experiences. The physical boundaries of sleep spaces thus came to represent psychological boundaries, marking a transition from social engagement to private restoration. Modern research in environmental psychology demonstrates how the ancestral link between sleep spaces and mental restoration persists. The bedroom environment triggers psychological preparation for sleep, with familiar surroundings and personal arrangements acting as cues for mental decompression. This psychological attachment to sleep spaces explains why humans typically experience difficulty sleeping in unfamiliar environments, a phenomenon that connects directly to evolutionary survival mechanisms requiring heightened vigilance in novel surroundings. The socio-biological significance of private sleep spaces becomes particularly evident in situations where privacy is compromised. Individuals in shared sleeping environments, such as institutional settings or emergency shelters, often experience increased psychological stress and reduced sleep quality. This response highlights how deeply the connection between private sleep spaces and mental well-being is embedded in human psychology. Contemporary mental health practitioners recognize this connection, often incorporating sleep environment modifications into therapeutic interventions for various psychological conditions. The exploration of sleep through a socio-biological lens reveals its profound influence on human development, extending far beyond its basic biological function. Sleep emerges as a crucial force that has shaped human evolution, social structures, architectural development, and technological advancement. The substantial time investment required for sleep, approximately 1/4 of human life, has influenced every aspect of social organization from prehistoric times to the modern era. The examination of sleep patterns reveals intricate connections between seemingly disparate elements of human existence, from the emergence of permanent dwellings and the concept of home, to the organization of labor markets. From technological innovation to mental health considerations, sleep requirements have acted as a fundamental driver of human social development. The biological imperative for safe sleep has influenced pair bonding, reproduction, and child-rearing practices, contributing to the complex social structures that characterize human societies. The relationship between sleep and human development continues to evolve in response to modern challenges. Contemporary society grapples with the tensions between biological sleep requirements and technological advancement, economic pressures, and social expectations. Understanding sleep from this broader socio-biological perspective offers valuable insights into current social challenges and potential adaptations for the future. The significance of sleep extends far beyond individual health outcomes, standing as a central pillar in the architecture of human social organization and development. These insights suggest that future approaches to sleep-related challenges might benefit from considering not just individual health impacts, but the broader socio-biological context in which sleep occurs. As human society continues to evolve, the fundamental importance of sleep as a driver of social organization and development remains constant, adapting to new circumstances while maintaining its essential role in human existence. From the socio-biological angle of this exploration, it is better possible to appreciate how sleep is of such central importance to the survival of our species. Nature demands that we get enough good quality sleep, a fact evidenced by the extraordinary array of social, architectural and technological adaptations humans have developed to protect and optimize this vulnerable state. The biological imperative for sleep has been so powerful that it has shaped human social evolution despite the risks and resource investments required to maintain safe sleeping conditions. The time investment required for sleep, constituting approximately 1/4 of human life, represents an evolutionary trade-off of remarkable significance. This substantial time commitment, maintained despite the pressures of predation and competition for resources, underscores sleep's absolute necessity for species survival. The fact that evolution has preserved this lengthy sleep requirement, rather than selecting for humans who need less sleep, provides compelling evidence of its fundamental importance to human biological and psychological functions. Throughout human history, Societies have developed increasingly sophisticated methods to protect and optimize sleep, from the earliest communal sleeping arrangements to modern technological solutions. These adaptations have required significant investments of time, resources, and social coordination, reflecting the critical role of sleep in human survival. The persistence of these sleep protection mechanisms across cultures and throughout history demonstrates that nature's demand for quality sleep remains non-negotiable, regardless of technological advancement or social progress. The biological imperative for sleep continues to assert itself even in contemporary society, where economic and technological pressures often conflict with natural sleep patterns. The rising incidence of sleep-related health issues in modern populations serves as a powerful reminder that nature's sleep requirements cannot be circumvented without consequences. This understanding reinforces the view that sleep represents not merely a passive state of rest, but an active process essential to the continuing survival and success of the human species.